Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I told you this was coming. A few videos back, I don't know, in the last week or two, you all know I'm senile, I mentioned about electric vehicles and electrification of everything, that there are not enough resources in the world for us to accomplish what the people that want this Green New Deal thing to accomplish. There's just not enough resources. So what will that result in? That will result in less of what they're telling you you have to have. So they're saying you need to get rid of your internal combustion engines, right? And then you need to move over to EVs. Well, they're not looking at the fact that our grid, our electrical grid, cannot keep up with demand now, even without us having switched over to all electric vehicles, which is what they said they want, right? We switch over all of the internal combustion engine cars to electric vehicles and we're going to save the world. And I mentioned that we just don't have the resources. And now they're coming out to say it. So you better pay attention before you give your internal combustion engines up, your regular vehicles up, because we're going to have plenty of fuel. We'll have plenty of oil, we'll have plenty of natural gas and all of those things, but we won't have enough electricity because our grid will not be able to handle it. And we don't have the resources to make all of the things that we need to electrify the world, because they say that's what's going to save the planet. Environment police want to reduce car ownership because EVs are not enough. So now they're saying that, hey, we want you to switch over to EVs, right? That's what they've been saying. That's what they've been touting for the last several years. We need you to switch over to EVs so that we can save the world. But now they finally figured out, hey, we don't have the resources that we need to make all of the EVs that would be appropriate to exchange the internal combustion engines to EV vehicles. A consortium of California University professors and the Climate Community Project say that more EVs alone will not solve the climate crisis. It's not that. First of all EVs, if we switched over to all EVs and we had all of the electricity that we need and everything, that's not going to solve the climate crisis, because it is a cycle. It is not your fault, ladies and gentlemen. It is not your fault because you use gas stoves. It's not your fault because you use vehicles that run on gasoline. It's not your fault because you breathe out CO2. It's not your fault because you fart, just like cows fart as well. So listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Before I read this, let me tell you about what I said about the solar panels too. A while back, I said that there's absolutely no way that we can make enough solar panels to power just the United States with the amount of just silver. Just taking silver into consideration, your average solar panel uses about 2/3 of an ounce of silver. And given the amount of silver that we have in the world, in order for us to just power the United States alone, not including industries, we would have a deficit of about 39 or 35 billion ounces of silver, in which we only mine about 1 billion ounces a year, if not less, really more like 850 million ounces a year. So there's no way that we're going to be able to electrify the United States alone just with solar panels. And where do you think that windmills come from? How do you think that they're made? Do you think it doesn't take mining of other metals and the use of fossil fuels to mine those other metals that windmills need? And as far as climate goes, let's talk about nuclear power plants. Yes, very efficient, and it is somewhat net zero, with the exception of that it uses a whole bunch of concrete. And concrete is, I believe, like the second or third worst emitter of methane or CO2 in the world. So nothing, ladies and gentlemen, is net zero, no matter how much they try to push it. But let's read on here. If today's demand for EVs is projected to 2050, the lithium requirements of the US EV market alone would require triple the amount of lithium currently produced for the entire global market. That's just for the US. So now, since they figured out, hey, we don't have the resources that we need in order to make this conversion, now they're saying, wait a minute, just switching over to EVs is not enough. Now we're going to have to limit how many people can have vehicles. But it gets worse. Do you all remember the video that I did on the C40, which is the cities that they want to make pretty much bring everyone together into cities and into urban areas and crunch you all together in a little pack and put you in a 120 square foot space so that you and your families can live in. Well, this talks about that as well. But here it says that large-scale mining entails social and environmental harm. So they can't be mining lithium because it entails social and environmental harm. Well, did they think about that before they went on this ride to get rid of internal combustion engines and switch them over with EV vehicles? In many cases, irreversibly damaging landscapes without the consent of affected communities. Increasing mass and active transit, as well as keeping passenger vehicles smaller, makes for safer communities because, ladies and gentlemen, it's all for your safety. This is all for your safety. Okay? Reducing the size of passenger vehicles also can make the roads far safer because smaller cars have fewer and less severe crashes. But guess what? That's not all. They're not only going to make your cars smaller, they're going to make your living space smaller. They want to take everyone out of the countryside and put them in cities so that they can control you more. I'm excited about this. Yes, I am. This makes me excited. I don't mean excited that I want it to happen, but excited because I know what these people are up to. And we need to wake up, because even those of you that are saying, hey, if it'll save the government, if it'll save the environment, if it's going to save the environment, I'm all for it. While you're living in your 2,000 square foot home and don't know that the goal is to put you into a 150 square foot apartment so that you can live in a one-room apartment with you and your 3 kids. The Climate and Community Project's 2022 report, A Green New Deal for Transportation. Man, doesn't that just sound good? People are so asleep. Those of you, I'm telling you right now, those of you that are for this Green New Deal thing, that are still asleep, you are the ones that are going to pay the price the most. Because you will eventually realize that you were fooled into something that is not doable. This Green New Deal thing is nothing but a money grab that's going to make you a lot poorer, is going to take your standard of living from where it is now to one that you've never even dreamt of living before. So those of you that are asking for this, you're going to have a very rude awakening. Those people that are in the know and that really know what's going on, if it ends up being like this, at least we will have resisted. At least we knew what was coming. But you, those of you that are for this, you're going to have a very rude awakening. And guess what? You're the ones that are going to be screaming the loudest. You're the ones that are going to be protesting the most, because you're going to hate the living conditions under which you have to exist under this Green New Deal for transportation, for whatever it may be. All right. Ultimately, climate, transit, and indigenous justice can be aligned. Of course, because it's all about justice. But for who, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourselves that question. We want to reduce the size of your house too. Our findings show that reducing dependence on private vehicles, all right, so pretty much getting rid of your private vehicles. And listen how they word this. It's so very nicely worded. Densifying low-density suburbs. Densifying low-density suburbs. So you know those suburbs that you live in now, where you have maybe 1/10 of an acre with a little bit of backyard? You can say goodbye to those. Those are going to be full with apartment complexes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what densifying low-density suburbs mean, while allowing more people to live in existing high-density urban spaces and improving EV efficiency and reducing battery sizes are the most effective pathways to reducing future lithium demand. So they're waking up, or have woken up, to the fact that we don't have the resources that we need in order to achieve their dreams. So what are they going to do? They're going to go ahead and cut into your standard of living even more so than they are cutting in now, by taxing the hell out of you and then putting it into this green dream that they have. Become more self-reliant. Become as self-sufficient as you can. Make sure that you have family around you, church, community, because we are going to need it, ladies and gentlemen. Once they run out of options, and who is they, AP? The overlords, our overlords, who love to look down on us as their plebes. Once they run out of options, ladies and gentlemen, they will become more tyrannical. So continue to prepare. Have a great day. God bless America. There is hope because there's still a lot of patriots in this country that love this country and love their countrymen. God bless America. God bless every one of you. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.